Hi everyone, and welcome back to our week 6 video lesson. By now, you guys know the drill. We're getting started with some flashcards. As always, these are sight reading flashcards, so be sure that you're preparing mentally by looking at the notes, fingering, rhythm, etc. before you go ahead and get started to try to play these. So we have number 1, and you're going to do top 1 and bottom 1. And these flashcards are again mostly focusing on thirds and skips. Here's number 1. Go ahead and pause the video and try that one. Here's number 2. Here is number 3. And here is number 4. All right. So remember, these flashcards are ideally for your first time through to try to sight read, trying to go through one time with no practice, making no mistakes. But once you get through it, you're welcome to use those as exercises to try doing some transposition if you want to do that. You can also try playing those in different tempos, seeing how that sounds. You can play forte once, then piano. So you can use these as an opportunity to try out a few different things. You could even use these to improvise a little bit if you wanted to take one hand and then try to create a second part. These are for you to be creative, and anything that you think is beneficial to deepening your practice is always super exciting and super welcomed. So for now, let's go ahead and get into our book. And we're going to be starting on page 52 with Eine kleine Nachtmusik, which is very, very famous piece by Mozart that you've probably heard many, many times before. And in this piece, we're going to be talking about our rest, our quarter rest, which is this little squiggly guy right here. And this is just how we notate silence. Really, it's mostly there as a placeholder to just show us, we need to write, if we're in 4/4, for example, we need to have 4 counts in each measure. So instead of just leaving a blank where we don't want notes to play, it makes sense to add the exact amount of rest that we want to have. But for our purposes, it's pretty much going to be fairly intuitive to what we've already been doing, where we play a note and if we stop playing, but it's just really indicating the exact value of how long you want to do that. So let's go ahead, and can you find what our starting hand position is? What do we have for our right hand and our left hand starting notes? Give you a second to think about it. So our right hand is starting on a C. Our left hand has finger 3 on G, which means that our left hand thumb is on B. So you've got this thumbs next to each other position with thumb on C, thumb on B. This piece features a lot of thirds or skips. So that also might be something that you want to go through and circle before you start working on this. So we'll go ahead and try this together, and I'm going to say the note names out loud when we practice this first time through. 1, 2, ready, go. C, G, C, G, G, C, E, G. Rest, F, D, F, D, F, D, B, D, G. Rest, G, C, G, C, B, C. Excellent job. So go ahead and practice that through several more times until you feel comfortable at a nice steady tempo with that one. You can say counts, you can say finger numbers and note names. And then we'll go ahead and join back when you're ready for the teacher part. So you're going to be playing high on the keyboard for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. There we go. All right. So keep working. If you need to spend a little bit more time on that one to get it up to tempo, that is just fine. And then for a little bit of an extra challenge here, you are going to write in the blank at the bottom of page 53, writing out 2 measures of rhythm that include quarter rests. So you can play around and figure out what you think might sound cool. Rests are a great way to add a little bit of variety to our rhythms and create a little bit of a different sound. So you can play a rhythm that you like and then see how you would write that out using quarter rests. And then we're going to go ahead and turn over to New World Symphony Theme. This is based on a very famous piece by Dvorak, who is an absolutely amazing composer, and this piece is just so beautiful and so beloved by so many, and I know that you're gonna really love getting to play it. So we are talking at the top of this page, we're learning 2 basic things here. So something that we've already been kind of doing is when we play one sort of simple repetitive part with our left hand, that is providing the harmony. It's the background to the music that sort of gives our melody a little bit of context. And the part that we play with our right hand, the part that we might sort of like sing or that might have the words if it was a song with lyrics, that part is the melody. So that's the main part that we are kind of thinking of. So very frequently we have a melody and harmony texture in piano music with our right hand playing the melody and our left hand playing the harmony. And in this case of this piece, we absolutely have that through the first page. And then if we notice on the second page, our left hand actually takes over the melody because our left hand is playing the only notes and the kind of the main part that we would think of. The other thing that we're going to learn in this one is the idea of da capo al fine. So we've seen repeat signs written out, which is a really easy way of not having to write out every single note that we want to play if something is repeated exactly. But what if we play something at the beginning and then we play something else and we want to play exactly what was at the beginning? Do we have to write it all over again? Not necessarily. We can use da capo. So at the very end, you see here we have DC al fine. Da capo is Italian for to the head or to the front. So when we say da capo, that tells us I'm going to go back to the beginning. And then al fine means to the end, or to the fine is what we have written in music. And so I can see here I have fine right here, which means I'm going to play the whole piece from beginning to end. Go through. I go to the end and it tells me da capo. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, back to the front, and I'm going to play until I get to the fine. So I play this page, then this page, then this page one more time. And it's a way easier way. Otherwise, we'd have to have a page turn, and it would be much longer than it would need to be. So that's a really easy way to write that down. So you might want to circle those markings for yourself. That way you're not having to kind of look around for where those are in your music. That could be a little bit of an easier approach. The other thing that I think would be very beneficial to mark are all of the ties that we have in our left hand, especially because we also have a lot of slurs. And as we've mentioned before, but the main difference, well, yes, the main difference, the only difference between slurs and ties is that a slur is where you're playing in a connected way over different notes. A slur is, or a tie is when you're playing the same note and you're just not lifting, you're not re-articulating it. So in the beginning here, you can see I have 4 measures of holding out that C and G together. So the way that I'm going to play that is 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. So I would go through and mark all of your ties. And it's, again, it's very easy to see because it's one note to the exact same note. You can't play one note to the exact same note and play it connected. So it couldn't be a slur. That wouldn't make sense. So it's a tie. And you also couldn't tie notes that weren't the same note. So I would go through and mark all of your slurs. Notice that in some places we have slurs under the ties, but don't let it confuse you because it's pretty easy to see when it's one note to the very same note, and it makes it even easier if you circle it. And here's how I like to do it. I circle all of the notes that are part of that tie, and then I write an X over them to show that I'm not going to re-strike this. I'm not going to lift my hand and play it again. I'm just going to keep holding here, here, and here. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to be in a C pentascale position with both hands back to that nice comfortable position instead of having thumbs so close to each other. And we're going to go ahead and try this one from the very beginning. And I'm going to count out loud as we practice this time through. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep holding the right hand. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. long one when you play it in a nice slow tempo. So go ahead and practice that through several times using any practice strategies that you feel help you, and then we'll come back and do the teacher part together. So this one is not overly fast at any point, but we are going to do it at a kind of nice flowing tempo, that way it really moves. And you're going to be playing up high on the keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, very, very nice job working on that one. So go ahead and keep up the great work playing that one until you feel like you really can play that well with the duet.